What is going on, people? Good morning. I hope you're warm. I'm Jesse, and we're doing this little project kickoff, the Do the Damn Thing project kickoff. I'm going to need to give you a little bit of background. And actually, if you're out there, let me know because I think this is the first time I've done a solo live stream, which is a little different than me doing my Monday morning hugs because that's easy, right? That's just me walking, talking, rambling, getting my thoughts out there. And so here we go. If you're out there in the Omniverse, let me know where you at. And are you a repeat offender? Have you been to any of the live streams and No BS with Jen and Jess stuff? Have you done any of the podcasty stuff? Have you been a part of any of the other wacky things that I'm like involved in? I want to know. I want to hear what your deal is. And if you're new here, I'm going to give you a little bit of background, right? I'm not just going to be jamming my jaws randomly. I even put a little outline together just in case, because this solo thing's a little bit different. It's a little experiment here. All right, so here we go. The background is this. Oh my goodness, we got a repeat offender out there, Miss Megan. Good morning, sister, and thank you so much for your support. I know it's 6 o'clock for you down in California there, and I hope you and the family and everyone else is safe with all the turmoil that's been happening. And girl, questions, thoughts, highlights, all the other good stuff, let me know. We got Mr. Marumutu coming in, says good evening, coming in from India. All right, folks, so let me know if you're out there, you're a repeat offender. And I'm going to give you some background on why or what kind of contributed to this little project kicking off. Last year, I say last year like it was a long time ago, but like during the holidays, I launched an experiment. It was the Do the Damn Thing time management workshop. And the whole point was to help accomplished professionals invest in themselves at least as much as they invest in all of the things that they do in the world, their jobs, their families, their communities. And folks like that, like us, we're pretty good at like giving and serving and pretty not good at taking care of ourselves. So the whole thing, the whole workshop was my way of trying to figure out, can I have some kind of effect? Can I give people some tools to actually honor themselves more? Now, how did I do that? Well, I did the bait and switch, right? I said or marketed the idea as a time management workshop. And here's the truth, y'all. It is a self-management workshop, not a time management workshop, because there's not much we can do to manage time. Anyhow, we spent about 4 hours. We started off with like long-term visioning, like what do we want to accomplish? What are the things that are in our head, our hopes, our dreams? Let's get them out, all the way down to like daily blocking and tackling. And so part of that is it's important to me that the thing actually help people. And so I had a little survey at the end. And that's where this kind of live stream comes into play. And so y'all are going to be helpful in helping me understand whether I should do it again in the future or just not do it anymore. But one of the things that I got from the feedback was like connection and support or interaction, follow up of some sort. And I made some calls, I called some people, and I got some really good feedback. So I said, well, you know what might be easy? A good trigger to pull is do a live stream so people can pop on, ask their questions, share their insights, and maintain that momentum, that accountability, whatever you want to call it. And I also sent out a link and said, hey, y'all, here's a link. If you want to have like a one-on-one, a little Calendly link to talk through your like specific things, we can make sure and keep that momentum going so that we can thrive in 2025. And so those buttons have been pushed. And again, it was in response to the people out there. And hopefully, rather, my goal is to help people keep going. And so some of the people that are out there, we got Mr. Clyde. Mr. Clyde was a participant, and I know he had a whole bunch of ideas or shared that he had some ideas he was going to go into practice. And like he recorded a video of him, one of his random construction thoughts, and shared it on the Omniverse. So Clyde, thank you for that, my brother. We also have my sister, my fellow troublemaker, Jennifer Lacey. She says, good morning. I hope you're warm and toasty, because I know Dallas has got the snow coming down. She was a participant, and I've gotten some like insight from her on some of the things that she's already actually doing and making progress with the stuff that we covered. And then we got my brother, Mr. Renee. He says, good morning. All right. So we got a bunch of repeat offenders here. Renee is letting us know he's practicing the Trello board right now. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, Holmes. So here's my question, folks. Like, two things I want to put out to the world. If you were a workshop attendee, if you came and hung out and went through the thing, are you stuck on anything? Like, I know y'all are courageous because you sat through 4 hours of stuff with me. And so if you're stuck on anything, let me know what it is. If you weren't a part of the workshop and you have questions, drop your question in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. That's the whole point. And so again, clarity, workshop attendees, are you stuck on anything? And the rest of you amazing folks that are hanging out with me this morning, what questions you got about this time management thing? And I'll use that language because most people understand that. I think of it as self-management. But Renee is saying he's practicing the Trello board. So the Trello board is one of the tools that I proposed or introduced, or however you want to think about it, for people to do in their daily planning, because it is the tool that I use for my daily planning. I use it for a bunch of things, but primarily I use it for my daily planning. Like, and what does that mean? That means every single day. And I know Renee made a post about like showing his Trello board. He's created one and he's starting to track it. And one of the things that he was working on is figuring out how to set a target. So I'm wondering, Renee, have you been able to set like your daily target or weekly target of tasks to complete? Because I know that that's a game changer. We also got Mr. Darrell coming in. He says, good morning. He's coming up from Canada country, where it's way colder than what we're experiencing down here in Texas. Thank you, Darrell, for showing up and for being a participant in the course. And Mr. Clyde says he's still getting used to the Trello. Awesome. And so I'm wondering, Clyde, is the friction like learning how to use it or making it a part of your regular practice? I've found that it's just build the habit, right? Open the thing up, use it once a day, set a time to open it up and tinker around with it so that I get in the habit, just simple habit of using the thing. Once I establish a habit of like using it, then I start trying to figure out how to like elevate my game and use all the other little functionality, all the little magical whiz-bangy things that it has. When I do the opposite, I never really get started because it's so complex and so heavy. So I don't know if that helps or not, Clyde, but I'd love to know if it would. Oh my God, Megan's lighting me up. So Megan says, I'm going to be super real and honest. I haven't made the time to implement. I need some accountability for implementation. Oh my God, Megan, thank you for like being courageous and vulnerable and sharing that for everybody to see, because sister, I know for sure you are not the only one. I've talked to a few people and they're like, ooh, well, it's on I haven't forgot about it. And so would you mind like coloring in some parts about this accountability? Because I'll explain why. Because that could be as simple as a text, like a recurring text. And you already know how obsessive I am. And so if I set a recurring text to check in, I can do it to happen daily, which may be like, blah, that's too much. Is a text enough, right? Does it need to be a phone call? Does it need to be a monthly group call? What do you think would be the ideal form of this accountability to help with implementation? Let me know in the comments, folks. Any other ideas y'all have around accountability, please bring it. And Mr. Clyde says the struggle is not just the daily use of it, but also like learning all the whiz bangy things. So awesome. Thank you for that, Clyde. Again, my recommendation for that is pick one. Like if you're just want to learn all the stuff, then learn the stuff, practice the stuff. Or if you just want to build the habit, then just build the habit. Instead of trying to do both, because then it kind of gets heavy and gives me, like if in my situation, it gave me an excuse not to use it. Like it's just too hard. By the time I figured this thing out, I could have already got everything done. And so picking one or the other would be my recommendation. I'm curious to know which one you would pick, my friend. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Miss Megan, thank you. Megan says she thinks one of her challenges is that she's feeling a little lost on the long and short-term goals for 2025. I need some strategic planning and goal setting guidance. Ooh, now that's heavy, sister. So for me, girl, that sounds like a one-on-one. And you already know I'm always down to hang out with you and kick some ideas around, but I may not be the best qualified person to help with that. And so I'm going to kind of bounce that back out there to all the folks in the Omniverse. You got any pointers, any tips and tricks for strategic planning and goal setting guidance? Throw that out there. And maybe, Megan, that's another feature that I should consider adding, because I am absolutely going to be doing another round of the Do the Damn Thing time management workshop. Planning on doing that on the March 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So this time it'll be 4 days, 4 different options to sign up. And because of this thing about feedback, accountability, I'm tinkering around with some ideas of how to do the workshop. And you and I kicked this around, so you helped me a bunch with it. Do the workshop and then go ahead and have some elements on the back end to dive deeper on the monthly planning, the quarterly planning, the weekly planning, and the daily planning, which it'll be an option if people want that. And we got to keep that damn ball rolling. So thank you, sister. And again, let's have a conversation. You know me, I'm happy to talk. I'll do my best to keep my mouth shut. Mr. Darrell says, as a PM, we schedule and get things done by delegating. Ooh, beautiful. But getting my stuff done is challenging. And so thank you, Darrell, because yes, like that was the realization that I had way back when I started doing my planning the way that I do it now and the way that I'm teaching in the workshop is, man, I can get stuff done. I get stuff done at work. I hadn't necessarily put together that I get things done because I delegate a lot of stuff. That's an important point. But basically what I did was say, okay, these are all the tools and methods and mental models and stuff that I use to like manage teams and execute work. Why don't I apply them to myself? And took a lot of years and a lot of practice to get my stuff done. And so Darrell, I know you said you've been working on it. I'm eager to hear what you've learned. Have you like customized it to fit you specifically? Has it been exciting or irritating? Like all of the things, because I promise it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some work. Oh, look, Renee is sharing some pointers here. The Trello has a template button that you can click and it'll get you set up right out of the gate. So, oh, there you go. All right. So they're talking back and forth. Thank you for that. Miss Sarah, good morning, sister. Miss Sarah says, good morning. Sarah is absolutely a repeat offender. She has been, I get to hang out with her a whole bunch with emotional bungee jumpers, cultivation crew, the time management workshop, all the amazing things. Oh, and so we got, Marumutu, who is not a repeat offender, was not at the workshop, but she's been using the Microsoft To Do app for some time. The learning is that he tends to put too many, oh, good, I love this, too many tasks every day. Honestly, able to kick only quarter or 25% of the task, and currently looking at prioritizing tasks any days. Any ideas? Absolutely, my man. So here's the deal with and actually, like, I'm just going to make a confession because Megan helped me see this. When I do, I'm going to get to the daily, but let me start like monthly and quarterly planning. When I used to do my monthly and quarterly planning, I used to set a target of 16 tasks per month. And my thinking in that is that, and when I say tasks for my quarterly and monthly planning, I'm talking like big ideas, right? Big project type stuff. That's not going to happen in one day, but it's kind of the time of the month that I was going to push that ball, get that ball rolling. And I was thinking 16 because that means I can do 4 a week. So if I have 16 tasks for the month, I plug that into my monthly calendar and there's 4 a week, and that's the thing. Well, Megan and I were having a conversation and she's like, why 16? I was like, well, this is why. Well, then I went back and reviewed, and my actual performance was about 8 per month. Like what I would plan 16, but on average, I would execute on 8. And I said, well, if I have a whole year of data that is telling me that my threshold, my optimal threshold is 8, why am I setting this situation where I'm putting this unreasonable load or expectation on me, which kind of steals my energy because I like to succeed, and I'm failing when I'm not hitting my target. So now back to your question on the daily thing. You have the data, right? You know how many sticky or cards you're putting over on the to-do list. You know how many you're executing in the day. And so my suggestion would be to set that your performance, right? What have you actually been delivering? If you say a quarter of the task, if you've been putting 12 up there and you're only getting 3 done, that's not a horrible thing. So set the task to 3, set the target to 3. If it's 40 and you're only getting 10 done, set the target to 10. The main reason behind that is because now it's a reasonable target that you can really repetitively execute on. And then you can add a little bit more so that you can analyze what are the things that are keeping you from like executing more. And the language I like to use is time banded. So here's another, like if that's not comfortable, if you don't want to decrease your target, I'm going to highly recommend it because it feels better. You won't beat yourself up as much. But the main element is the reflection part. Like, what are the things that you're doing? What are the things that are distracting you daily? What are the things that interrupt you? When I say distract, I want to be more specific. What are the stuff, the people, the things that interrupt you, that distract you? Because that's almost always the biggest contributor to us not executing. For me, I'll give you an example. The thing that distracts me and interrupts me the most are ideas. The second thing is notifications. And when I say notification, I'm talking about notifications on my phone. I'm talking about email notification, pop-ups, all those things. The second one's easy. Freaking turn off the notifications. Just turn them off because they won't steal your attention and you can stay focused on the task at hand. I did that a long time ago. The other thing for me was ideas. I would get ideas and then I would go chase the ideas. I'd do a little bit of research. I play around with them. And that would add time or take away time from me executing my work. And so what I do now is I have an idea incubator, a bucket, or the squirrel cage is what we teach in the time management workshop. Have a squirrel cage to put those squirrels in there so that they're there and I can come back to them later after I execute all my work. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if I missed the target or at least got close, gave you something to chew on there. Oh man, so Miss Sarah says, I'm great at helping people with goal setting, guidance, and strategic. Well, there you go. There's some help, Miss Megan, Miss Sarah, and y'all know each other because I know y'all been hanging out. Look, Clyde is saying, yes, it helps. Squirrel, he's getting a little bit distracted there. I love it. So Clyde, Renee, and folks, I love that y'all are like helping each other in the comments. That's my ultimate favorite. She says, Clyde, I got a little overwhelmed myself, but clicking the template button, that will get the ball rolling for you quickly. It took a lot of thinking out of the picture for me. Yeah, minimize the thinking, because I know for me, that's a super Uh, that's a black hole that once I go down, it's hard to come out of. Daryl also repeats, accountability partner is a key for me. Okay, thank you, Daryl. So a weekly check-in for accountability to maintain, like, check pulse, how we doing, what are we stuck? So let me ask another question. Would you be open to having an accountability call with a group of people? If you can't tell, I'm kind of doing some market research here, right? Like, how do I design the next experience so that it's super, super amazing, or super amazing than the last one? So, like, is that accountability call, would it be sufficient or reasonable for it to be a group call? Or is it more meaningful or really important that it be a one-on-one call? Because both can happen. I just know me, like you all already know, I'm like a super, super community driven type of person. I like hanging around with people and sharing ideas, stealing ideas from each other. So thank you again for that, Daryl. That's super, super helpful. Miss Megan says, Sarah, I know you're watching on Facebook, but I'm tagging you here. So Megan is tagging Sarah on the LinkedIn so they can connect. Oh, man, I love that. There you go. Boom. Strategic planning and goal setting. And folks, if you don't know, that is exactly what doing the damn thing looks like, right? You have an issue, put it out into the world. Have a little bit of courage. Show some vulnerability and say, I need help. And you know what happens when you do that? You get help. You know what happens when you don't? You stay stuck. So Megan, freaking amazing job on demonstrating what doing the damn thing looks like. All right, so we got Mr. Renee says he too would love an accountability call to help him commit to updating my Trello board. All right, so there's a couple of votes for the accountability call. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. And Daryl says, I want a one-on-one so that I can get called out on the damn thing. Ooh, serious. Okay. Okay. So it looks like we're leaning towards one-on-one on the accountability buddy stuff. Okay. That's something to chew on. Oh my goodness. We got a troublemaker in the comments coming in from LinkedIn. Mr. Noah Hermes says, I've probably heard more of do the damn thing for the host. What does that mean, Noah? Are you saying that I'm amazing at doing the damn thing, or that I actually need to stop talking and do the damn thing? Brother, I always appreciate your support and the zingers. So it's going to take me a couple seconds here. So drop your comments and questions, or actually, because I'm only going to be on here for, my idea with this call, this live stream, is to have like 30 minutes. And so let me know, like, thumbs up, thumbs down. Is 30 minutes enough? Is that too long? That's question number one. Question number two is, what should we make this like a topical conversation? Because this live stream is going to be happening every other Saturday. So I'm live streaming today solo. Y'all already know what I'm doing next Saturday. I'm going to be doing No BS with Jen and Jess. So Jennifer Lacey and I are going to be up here. The following Saturday after that, I'm going to do another Do the Damn Thing live stream. And so I'd like to know, how long would you prefer it to be? And do you have any specific topics you want to dive into, or are you happy with me just showing up and blabbing for 30 minutes? Let me know so we can make sure we make this thing like meaningful and provide you with some useful stuff, so that you're not just up here and I'm not just soaking up all the attention that I love so much. Hang on, I'm typing something up for the next session to be. Drop that bad boy in the comments so I can integrate that, because the feedback is always super, super helpful. Oh, look, Megan says 30 minutes is perfect. Daryl says 30 minutes every other week is excellent. Oh, we got a request for starting an hour later from the West Coast. You know, that's not a bad ask. Like, for real. like folks, so what's a good start time? I'm starting at 8 a.m. Central. An hour later for me is 9 a.m. Central. That means 30 minutes. I'm sorry, 7 a.m. California time, 10 a.m. East Coast time. So Sarah's saying yes. Is that a yes to an hour later? I can absolutely do that. Actually, I'd be really happy to do that because then I can do my Pilates and tighten up my belly over here. Ah, there we go. Thank you, sister. 1 hour later, coming in from Facebook land. Mr. Herm is talking smack, bringing the heat. He says it's hard to hold some people accountable when leadership tends to be soft. Oh my goodness. I agree. And I'm, I got to fire back, Noah. Aren't you a leader? Ooh, yeah, you know how it is. And we need to go golfing, bro. Like, what's up with that? Set that bad boy up once it warms up, because I'm delicate. All right. The crowd has spoken. We will absolutely be starting an hour later. So in 2 weeks, I will start this bad boy at 9 a.m. We're going to keep it to 30 minutes because all the feedback so far says 30 minutes is good, which is good because that helps me save my singing voice. Let's see, what else we got here? Thumbs up, 30 minutes, thinking on topics. Okay, good. So if you're still thinking on topics, like, again, drop them in the comments, or me, hit me on the DM, all of that good stuff. I've got tons and tons of feedback from the survey, so I could pull a topic out of the surveys, and I've got questions and things, conversations that have happened in the comments on some of the posts on LinkedIn. So I can pull stuff from there. But if there's something super, super specific, since you committed your time to hang out with us this morning, and you want something, of course, I'm going to cater to you first. So if there's a specific topic, let me know. That way I can do so. And rather, let me add some clarification. Specific topic in the realm of self-management, time management, productivity, personal productivity. That's what we're talking about here, not any topic, because I'm not a baker. So if you wanted to talk about baking cakes, I'm not going to do a good job on that. So let me do this. What kind of topics should we discuss next? So we can continue making this meaningful for you. And you, for real, if you're a lurker out there, thank you for hanging out. And you are welcome to jump in and participate. Because you don't have to have gone to the workshop to ask questions and to be able to get something out of the conversation. That's kind of the point. I want to make this thing useful. And I'm going to show real quick. I got 2 minutes, so I'm going to show some of the feedback that I've incorporated into the template, because we have a template on the mural board that we use for the experience, for the training session. And this one came, I think there was several people that pointed it out. And I'm like, oh yeah, and the point was this, is not everybody is an auditory learner. And I am absolutely an auditory learner, which means I can hear instruction, or rather I prefer to hear instruction and let me go do the damn thing. And others folks are like, Jess, it's fine to hear you talk, but I'm struggling. I need instructions that I can read. And I said, oh, okay. So I made a change here for the monthly thing, which was the pick chart. Now it's the damn chart. And it's evaluating your stuff in terms of impact and effort. And the damn part, you like what I did there, Megan, is whatever ends up in this top box is do these first. Whatever's on the box on the right, those are next in line. The ones on the bottom right, maybe last. And then over here on the bottom left, it's after the first. And so a simple path where you can see it, read it, and refer back to it in the future. I made that little tweak there. There's some other tweaks I've added in terms of how to get, or what to do with your ideas and your project stuff, what to do with the big bucket ideas, because that was a tripping hazard that I created accidentally. And then we also have the super awesome individualized, personalized template. I say personalized, it's not personalized. It's just a template that you can use with all the little frameworks specific for you so that you can do this afterwards. And like, not everybody's going to have access to all of your golden wisdom out there. And so let me stop sharing. How do I do that? Stop sharing, remove from stage. All right, there we go. So folks, that puts us at 30 minutes. Gave you a little bit of highlights. Miss Megan says, in terms of topics, you like it being an open forum for question and support. Hell yes, absolutely. Good, because even if we get super specific on topics, absolutely, I want the majority of this to be open forum for questions and support. So we will actually do that. Sarah says she's a visual learner. Good, because we make it super, super, super visual. And then Clyde says, that's a great change. Thank you, Clyde. Thank you very much. All right, folks, it's time. I appreciate y'all so much for the feedback, for the input that you've given me. I'm going to figure out what to do about this accountability frequency check-in that doesn't have to be online, so that we can have like real back and forth dialogue. Or maybe it's an after party. What do y'all think about that? I don't know. Kicking ideas around. I appreciate you very much. I applaud you for all the things that you do for the community, for your family, for the industries, for human beings. And I hope that ball keeps rolling for y'all and you continue to thrive in 2025. Be kind to yourself, be cool, and we'll talk at you next time. Peace. I got it.